And then we use our calculator. Okay? And when we use our calculator and we set everything up like we're supposed to, what? Where is it? Hurry up. Here. When you cross multiply, you got tangent of 18 times x is equal to 1560. Divide both sides by tangent of x. That's supposed to be 18. And it tells you to round your answer to the nearest foot. So nearest whole number, so 1560 divided by the tangent of 18. And you get 4801.2, which is 4801 feet. So I think that was the answer, 4801, yep. Okay? Questions on that? Did you have your proportion set up this way?
Yeah.
Did you set up and divide both sides by tangent of 18? Just did something, just put it in the calculator wrong. And see, that's the type of thing, if I can look through your work and I can go, yep, that's right, yep, that's right, that's even right. Then what did you do here? I can give you partial credit because you've done all the work correctly. I can, and I want to. That's just a matter of operator error in your calculator, okay? Be sure, go back now and put this number divided by the bottom number. It's always top divided by the bottom, okay? And make sure that you have it in degree mode. That's another thing you can check. So we're given, how do you know, how do you even know to use geometric mean, okay? Because I have a right triangle within a big right triangle. And that's all you can do. That's your only option, is to use geometric mean. Here, if I wanted to use the altitude theorem, x splits 3 and z. Can I have two unknowns? Thank you. No, if I'd have hit you. If I set this proportion up with x and 3 and z, can I have a proportion with two unknowns? No, I can't. All right, so I can't use the altitude theorem. Can I use the leg theorem? How about y? Y, and then what does it touch? It touches z, and it touches the whole thing. Can I use that? No, why not? It's two unknowns still. Can't do that, so let's use 5. All right, so if 5 is the leg, put it on the diagonals. And you see me do this every time we do a problem. It touches 3, and it touches the whole thing, which is what? 3 plus z. Very good. Not 3z, because then that leads me to thinking you're multiplying. Okay? So then I cross multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. 3 times the quantity, 3 plus z. And now it's just algebra. 25 is equal to 9 plus 3z. Subtract 9, and I get 16 is equal to 3z. Divide by 3. I'd a whole lot rather have 16/3 than a decimal, because that's the exact answer. If you round a number, that is not the exact answer. Okay? Would you rather have 1,457,000,000? $1,457,000 or about $1 million.
2,057,000.
You'd rather have the bigger number, right? You want the exact value. You don't want an estimated value. That estimated value would be all right too, though, right? All right, now look at the next one. So now we've got, what was that value? 16/3? Now do I have enough information to solve for x? Yes. X is on your diagonals. Do I need to continue with this? X squared is equal to 3 over 1 times 16 over 3. You with me? All I'm doing is cross multiplying. Right. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing for y. Y is your leg. So 16 thirds and then 3 plus 16 thirds. Put that in your calculator. Use your math frac button. That's what you have. I swapped those calculators out with the Casio so you would have that math frac button. 3 plus parentheses, 16 divided by 3 parentheses, and then math frac that junk. No, not that. 25 thirds, I think. Okay, cross multiply. And then, I mean, this is yucky. What's 16 times 24? 400? (16 thirds) times 25 thirds. Pardon me? I don't have a 24 there. Oh, it's 25 there. I don't know why I said it. Because I was thinking 400. Is 16 times 25 400? Yeah. All right, and then you take the square root of both sides, and you get 20 thirds. That's it. Okay? And you can put every bit of that in your calculator, math frac it. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Get out your... All right, so today is the 26th. Here we go. Talk about it later. Don't want to know your business. I promise I don't. Angle of elevation, angle of depression. Folks, look at the picture. Beautiful. Thank you. Whoever just did that. Angle 1. Is elevation or depression? Good. It's from the dotted line up to the solid line. So it is angle of elevation. Folks, fill in 2, 3, and 4 yourselves, please. Real quickly. Angle 3. And then angle 4. Angle of elevation. From the dotted to the solid. From the dotted to the solid. Okay? And that's what you need to mark. From the dotted to the solid. So you can figure out what you are having to answer. Either elevation or depression. You got to figure that out. The number one thing you need to remember is that these angles are what to one another. They're congruent to one another. That's the most important thing. You got to remember about what we learned about parallel lines and that these angles are congruent to one another. Okay? Okay, then just write it in the white area to the side. Now, got degrees up there by itself. Does it need to be up there? It needs to be inside the triangle. So where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it at the bottom because what do you know about these lines? What do you know about these angles? They are congruent. So now you can totally forget about this stuff up here. We don't need it. You do the same thing we always do. Circle the angle, label the triangle, eliminate, and solve. Right on? What do I know nothing about? All right, so if I don't know anything about the hypotenuse, that looks like I'm going to have to use tangent. It's going to be tangent of what? Tangent of who? Tangent of 26. Over 1 is equal to, what's the opposite over adjacent? 25 over x, and now we cross multiply, folks. This is no different than what we've been doing the whole time. Do you guys agree? And we're going to divide 25 by what? Tangent of 26. Put that in your calculator real fast. And it says round to the nearest tenth of a unit. $25 divided by tangent of 26. Did you guys get 51.3? Okay. 51.3 feet. Why is it feet? Because 25 is in feet, right? Folks, where do I put 40 in example 6? In this bottom corner of the triangle. Where do I put 27 in example 7? Bottom corner. Well, because based on parallel lines, they're alternate interior angles, and alternate interior angles are congruent. How about the 18? Bottom corner again, okay? Look at the next one. It says when the angle of elevation to the sun is 52 degrees, a tree casts a shadow that's 9 meters long. What's the height of the tree? Hello, is this not the same thing we've been doing all along? Yeah. Look at the next one. A person snorkeling sees a turtle on the ocean floor at an angle of depression of 38 degrees. What's wrong with the 38 degrees? It's not in the triangle. Do I put it here? No. Where do I put it? The bottom right-hand corner. She's 14 feet above the ocean floor. How far from the turtle is she? Round to the nearest foot. And then Jared is standing 12 feet from a rock climbing wall. When he looks up to see his friend ascend the wall, the angle of elevation is 56 degrees. How high up the wall is his friend? Oh, yes. Lots and lots and lots. Here's what I want you to do while you're in here. Because this is the same thing we've been doing. I want you to do example 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 10, 11, 12. I want you to do that right now. Okay? You already got this one up? Do this one. Let me talk you through this. Okay? If everybody would jump to 12, look at what you're given. Like I'm going to go start here and I'm going to work back. It says an ice climber stands at the edge of a crevasse that is 115 feet wide. The angle of depression from the edge where she stands to the opposite side. Angle of depression. Her line of sight down is 52 degrees. How deep is the crevasse at this point? Round to the nearest foot. Now, how deep, I want to know how tall that cliff is, if you will. And I'm going to go about this the same way I go about all of them. Circle, label, and eliminate. What do I know nothing about? I don't know anything about the hypotenuse, so that means some old horse called a horse taking oats away. I have to use tangent of 52. What's the opposite over adjacent? X over 115. And then I just cross multiply. And y'all got to help me here. Tangent of 52 times 115 is approximately, it says round to the nearest foot, 147 feet. Is that what somebody else got? 147 feet. Folks, does that make sense? Yeah? Everybody cool with that? Okay, tell me when. I'm going to work backwards. Okay. Tangent of 52 times 115, which is approximately 147 feet. Are we cool? All right, moving back. Jared's standing 12 feet from a rock climbing wall. Isn't that great? I love these pictures. Thanks. When he looks up to see his friend ascend the wall, which means he's climbing the wall, the angle of elevation is 56 degrees. How high up the wall is his friend? Again, round to the nearest foot. Okay. Some old horse called a horse taking oats away. Label it. Hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. What do we know nothing about? Hypotenuse, boom, boom. I guess we're going to have to use what again? Tangent. Tangent of 56 over 1 is equal to x over 12. And again, we're rounding to the nearest foot. 15.3, which is 15 feet, right? So he's 15 feet up that wall. Right on? Y'all cool with that? Did you have 56? May I? Twelve times tangent of 56. It's 18. Approximately 18. 17.8. Is that what y'all have? Yeah, approximately 18 feet. Hey, make sure 56 degrees, 12 feet, opposite over adjacent, x over 12, tangent 56 times 12, that's 18 feet, folks. Is that what you got? Or is that what you just assumed that I got correct? 17.8, which has to be rounded to the nearest foot, which is 18. Right? Okay, can we work backwards again? Yeah? Person snorkeling. Okay, we're done with this. Let's label. Hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. Some old horse caught a horse taking oats away. What do I know nothing about? This time, I don't know anything about the adjacent, so anywhere I see an A, I'm going to mark it out. Hey, this time we have to use what? Sine of who? Sine of 38 over 1, which is equal to 14 over x, and then we've got, ooh, this one's going to be different. Sine of 38 times x is equal to 14, and we have to divide by sine of 38. Good. Everybody with me? Maybe. Check it out. Take a look at it. 14 divided by sine of 38. 23. Take a look at it. See if you can figure. Where'd I lose you? Did you label your triangle correctly? Yeah. You got the hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. Yeah. You mark out the adjacent? Yeah. Did you mark out C and T? Did you mark out C and T? Oh, yeah. Yeah? Did you have sine? All right. Did you have sine of 38 over 1? Yeah. It's equal to 14 over x? Ding, ding, ding. That's where you made your mistake. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so it has to be 14 over x. That's why it is so important to make sure that your notes are correct, folks. You got to make sure it's right. Now, finish out that problem and work it out, okay? Pardon me? Oh, no, I was just talking to Cody. All right, how about this one? Circle the angle, label the triangle. Which one do I know nothing about, y'all? I don't know anything about the hypotenuse, so I guess I'm going to have to use what? Tangent again. Tangent of who? Tangent of 52 over 1 is equal to, what's the opposite over adjacent? X over 9. X is equal to, ooh, this one's nicer, isn't it? Why is this one nicer? It does say nearest tenth, but it's just multiplication. It's just straight up multiplying. And what did you get for your answer? Did you guys get 11.5? Questions? No questions at all? Yes, sir? What do we get? Let's see here. Did you have sine of 40 over 1 is equal to 500 over x for number 6? And then did you have, may I use that real quickly? Thank you. Then did you have 671 meters? Well,
I got 777. That's what I got. 777.9. Yeah, I got it.
Is this number 6? Because I got
Because you use sine of 40.
How about 777.9?
Yep. It'd just be awesome if it was
777.9. Guys, what I'm doing is I'm giving you the proportion. I'm expecting you to get that proportion correct. All right, for example, 7, it's going to be sine of 27 over 1 is equal to x over 580, which is going to give you x is approximately 263.3 yards. How many of you had that? Hands up. Good, good, good. And then the last one. Tangent of 18 is equal to x over 2. So then how about 0.6? 0.6 kilometers. Now think about why. Kilometers is how much? What's it almost close to? A kilometer. It's close to a mile. If the width is almost 2 miles, then is that short little height going to be longer? No, that does make sense. Although it looks weird, it ought to make sense to you, okay? Let's look at the work. Let's look at 547 in your books, folks. 10 through 13. That's just naming those angles again. 15, forestry problem. You have to draw the picture for 15. 24 and 24, the picture is there for you. Now that's going backwards, finding the angle measured. If you're not looking at your book, I don't really think you know what's going on. And then 25A, draw your picture. Folks, you can do that, all of that right there for homework. All of it. Get on it now before you leave. I expect it to be done.